What's good, y'all? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles. Listen to Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where you know I always keep it real. Now, I know it's been a little minute. I've been telling y'all I'm going to be more consistent. I've been going through some stuff. I moved into my apartment. Just got back to Atlanta, going to school and all that at Morehouse. I'm trying to do 4 years in and 4 years out. Pray for the brother. It's gonna be a tough year, and I'm a member of Omega Sci-Fi. So a lot of stuff going on, but it's so much news, so much sports news out right now. It would be a disservice to y'all if I didn't have a video coming out this week. And you've seen the title of this episode: Donovan Mitchell, Serena Williams, Jalen Reagor. All of those topics will be discussed in this video. And the most blockbuster news of yesterday, because I'm filming this on a Friday, the most blockbuster news, I was in class. I got the Woj tweet, the Woj bomb. Donovan Mitchell was traded for Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, the guy from Kansas, 3 unprotected first-round picks, 2 pick swaps, to Cleveland to pair up with Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Isaac Okoro, and Darius Garland. I mean, I was completely shocked. And if I'm going to be completely honest with y'all, I don't know if Danny Ainge has a vendetta, has something against James Doan. But I don't see how the Jazz trade away Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs, and you don't get these players. You don't get Darius Garland. You don't get Evan Mobley. You don't get Jared Allen. You don't get Karis LeVert. You don't get Isaac Okoro. Like, in what world are we living in to where the Jazz trade away Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs and they don't get Darius Garland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Isaac Okoro, or even Karis LeVert? Like, if we're just looking at this off face value, just off principle, the fact that Donovan Mitchell got traded to Cleveland and they kept their young core, all of their young core, because Colin Sexton wasn't playing. Lauri Markkanen, he was gonna be traded anyway. Like, I simply don't get how the Cavs were able to acquire Donovan Mitchell and still keep their core. I feel like you would have had to at least traded away Garland, or at least traded away Mobley or Allen, or one of those 3, even Isaac Okoro. But to not even trade any of those guys, I mean, look, their starting 5 is nasty, and then you got a bench of Ricky Rubio, Karis LeVert, and K Love. Talk about the Cavs. Talk about how they rank in the East. They're top 4. And I'm a Philly fan. I'm a Sixers fan. I love my Sixers to death. But if Harden doesn't play to the level we know he can play to, if he's playing like that Harden back in the playoffs, the Cavs will be a top 3 team in the East. And the only teams that will be better than them are the Bucks and the Celtics, right? So the Cavs made a major move, and now they are a legit contender in the Eastern Conference. They're over the Heat, over the Hawks, over the Raptors, the Knicks, all those other teams. They're over them. The Hornets, right? So the only teams that are really above them are the Celtics and the Bucks. But, man, what Kobe Altman did, or the Cavs GM did, in really turning around this team, since he became the GM, since David Griffin left, has been magical, and he should be in the running for Executive of the Year. I mean, nobody saw this coming. Everybody thought Donovan Mitchell was going to be traded to the Knicks. And now when I first heard the news that Donovan Mitchell is traded to Cleveland, I thought the Knicks dropped the ball. Oh, y'all dropped the ball. Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way. How the heck do you let this go? You have a guy in Donovan Mitchell who he wanted to be in New York, bro. I think we can pretty much say he wanted to be in New York. Who wouldn't want to be the face of a franchise in the media capital of the world? Like, he obviously wanted to be in New York. And the fact that they weren't able to get this trade done, it's not a good look. The great GMs make it happen. Pat Riley. Think about R.C. Buford, Masai Ujiri, Danny Ainge. And it's a slew of GMs that, if they have an opportunity presented in front of themselves to make their team better, they make that trade happen. When Anthony Davis wanted out of New Orleans, Rob Pelinka, or maybe it was Matt Johnson at the time, but Rob Pelinka made that trade happen. You talk about with a guy in Daryl Morey. James Harden wanted to be in Philly. He went ahead and made that happen. So the great GMs make it happen, right? They make it happen. And Leon Rose and Scott Perry with the Knicks just simply didn't make it happen. But as we've gotten more information about the trade, it was reported by Woj that at the start of trade talks, New York offered the Jazz R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, and 3 unprotected first-round picks. I'll be honest, bro. That is a better trade package than what the Jazz got from Cleveland. Unless they think in 2026 and 2028 that the Cavs will be dog poop, and they they'll be able to have like a high draft pick and basically do what they did. Danny Ainge do what he did with the Nets, and like flipping those picks to get a guy like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. So look, Ainge, I'm not gonna lie, like he doesn't have a good track record drafting young talent, but this is a big risk because like you got to get somebody nice with these picks, with these draft swaps, because the players that you got, Colin Sexton, I mean, he got his spot taken away by Darius Garland. Lauri Markkanen got his spot taken away by a rookie in Evan Mobley, right? So it's a reason why the Cavs weren't really playing Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton like that. And I don't see Colin Sexton or Lauri Markkanen really. I guess they could be cornerstones of that franchise, but I see Danny Ainge being like, you know what, let's just trade them for more assets. I feel like that's what Danny Ainge is doing. But it's just interesting to see what this Utah team will do moving forward. But I just feel like it wasn't a rob. I'm not going to say the Cavs robbed them, but I will say in any trade, the team that gets the best player 9 times out of 10 wins the trade. The Cavs got the best player, and they kept their young core. Now, if they lost Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, or Darius Garland, then we have a different story, right? But I think this trade package for Donovan Mitchell is actually less than what the Jazz got for Rudy Gobert. So how do you go from getting more for Rudy Gobert and getting less for Donovan Mitchell? That doesn't really make any sense to me. But nonetheless, the Jazz have a slew of draft picks, and we'll see what Danny Ainge does. Let's get into my Eagles. It's going to be a little short segment with my Eagles. I'm going to have a longer video on Saturday as I do more of a season preview for my Eagles and my expectations for them this season. But yesterday, news broke out. Was yesterday, 2 days ago, that Jalen Reagor got traded. And ironically, he got traded to the same team that drafted Justin Jefferson. And we all know Howie Roseman made a mistake. Howie Roseman drafted Jalen Reagor 1 spot ahead of Justin Jefferson. Now, Justin Jefferson is on track to be one of the all-time great wide receivers in the game. He's on track to be a Hall of Famer one day. So it's pretty safe to say that, at this stage right now, Howie blew it with that call to draft Jalen Reagor. I mean, it was so bad, the Vikings were celebrating when the Eagles drafted Jalen Reagor, they were like, there's no way Justin Jefferson is on the table. I mean, I mean, like, look, it's just crazy the fact that they were able that. Like, look, you see the video. It's like they're like, no way the Eagles passed up on this guy, right? And the problem with Jalen Reagor was that I feel like the Eagles were in denial. They kept thinking, kept trying to make themselves believe Reagor is that guy. Reagor could be a number 2 or number 1 option on our team. Clearly he wasn't. But it took a few years, probably one or two many. Maybe I say one season many. One more. They should have traded him last season, right? But I think this season was the straw that just broke the camel's back. It's too many drop passes, bro. Too many drop passes. And at the end of the day, it's like a mental thing at that point because you put in the work. Nobody is saying that Reagor doesn't work hard. I mean, they've like, glowed about how he's a great worker, how he's at every practice, how he's first one in, first one out, right? So in terms of that, it's like, I'm not questioning his work ethic, but mentally, did the city get to him? I feel like it did. It got to Carson Wentz, it got to Ben Simmons, it got to Jalen Reagor. And you can't be thin-skinned, soft to play in Philly because when he was, dropping in passes, I know y'all seen that infamous interview with the guy who was literally saving babies out of his apartment because there was a fire in there. He said, yeah, I caught him. I'm glad I'm not Jalen Reagor. I would have dropped him. Or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. But it's like, dang. Like, Philly fans are ruthless, right? So you got to be a different breed, a different type of athlete to play in Philly. And, Jalen Reagor's time was up. Again, I feel like they were trying to convince themselves that they made the right move, the Eagles, in terms of playing Reagor, in terms of trying to get him the touches and all of that. I'm like, stop force feeding this guy the ball. If y'all focus more time into running the ball with Miles Sanders rather than trying to force feed Reagor the ball, maybe we would be 11-6 instead of being 9-8, or we would be 10-7 instead of being 9-8 or 9-7 last season. You know what I'm trying to say. Like, we would have a better record than we would last season if we focus more on running the ball instead of force feeding Jalen Reagor. But with Philly luck, I wouldn't be surprised if Reagor ends up being a number 2 option or being a number 3 option behind Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. So we'll see if Reagor was a product of the environment in Philly. Maybe was he a product of Hurts not being the best thrower of the football? But we're going to see. We're going to see what Kirk Cousins does. But I personally think that Reagor had no business being drafted in the first round. He was a third-round talent that got drafted in the first round. And I feel bad for him because it's like he shouldn't even have been drafted that high to begin with. But he was, and it was simply a fail. And I'm glad that the Eagles admitted to this by this trade by saying their first-round pick in Jalen Reagor was a complete fail. To get him for only a 7th and a 5th, a 5th that could turn to a 4th, clearly it was a fail. And it was only a matter of time that Howie Roseman admitted to that failed draft pick. But I'm not gonna go too hard on Howie because he did go crazy this offseason. I'm going to talk about that and on the video tomorrow. I mean, this guy had gone stupid, drafted Jordan Davis. I mean, getting A.J. Brown, improving the defensive line, getting the guy Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from the Saints. I mean, our whole entire team from top to bottom has improved, and we have to start thinking the Eagles are not only going to compete in the NFC East and win that division, but they can actually legitimately compete for the NFC. And we're going to see. Again, if Hurts is that guy, it's not like out of this world to be like the Eagles could do that. In football, you can make a turnaround in just one season. Now, Serena Williams. Oh my goodness. Like, we're watching greatness. We're just simply like we are watching greatness. And I want you to just sit back, just admire this. Because we're not gonna see an athlete like Serena Williams ever again. To go through what she's gone through, the sexism, the racism, the constant doubting of her abilities. There's very few, if any, athletes that could have went through what Serena Williams went, and for her to sustain her dominance through 2 decades is crazy. I mean, her first U.S. Open win was in 1999. Now it's 2022, and she's in the 3rd round, just beat the number 2 ranked tennis player in the world. And at the end of the interview, at the end of the game, they wanted to ask her, Serena, are you surprised by her play? And what did she respond back? I'm Serena. And damn right, you're Serena, because people have to realize you can't get to Serena Williams level unless you come into every game thinking I'm gonna whoop this girl on the other side. Like athletes cut from Serena's cloth, cut from Tiger Woods' cloth, cut from LeBron, cut from Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, Giannis, Ronaldo, Messi, all the all-time great athletes right now. They go into every match on the field, on the court, wherever, thinking I'm about to win. You think just because she's 40 years old, she played 4 matches in 14 months, a little bit rusty, that she's gonna be like, oh, I'm going to just, get my farewell. My career's over, do my little, ceremonial tour. No, she's trying to win. She's trying to win. And this is the best she's looked since 2017. Going horizontally, front and back, boom, boom, boom. Like, look, I don't know too much tennis terminology, but what I do know is that she looked the best I've seen her since 2017, and we just have to salute Serena for being one of the all-time great athletes in an era in this generation where it's like a lot of these athletes now, they just be like, not giving their all, not persevering through different challenges that they have. And Serena is like the epitome of perseverance and determination. So salute to Serena. I can't wait to see her play tonight at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a treat to see. Let me know down below your thoughts on the topics discussed in this video. How do you feel about that Donovan Mitchell trade? Do you feel like it was a bad move by the Jazz? Do you feel like the Knicks flat out folded? Let me know. What about Jalen Reagor and the Eagles? Was it a good move for the Eagles to trade away Jalen Reagor? Or should they given him another year? And lastly, about Serena Williams, give us your thoughts on Serena, possibly getting her last Grand Slam of her career at the age of 40 years old. Let me know down below in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that link in the description. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that jazz. With that being said, y'all, this is Real Talk Miles Johnson, where I'll always keep it real. I'm out, y'all.